Grant, should we start with injuries? How's Tafazzoli?
He was out doing some stuff for the fitness coach today, so we'll see how he is tomorrow. I think he's improving. He's had an injection. He didn't need the operation or anything like that. That Rand probably thought he maybe did in the back of his head, so it was good to clear that up with a consultant on Tuesday. So he was out doing some running mechanic stuff today. We'll see how he is after that and how he's come over that. And if he comes over it well, he could be back in with the group tomorrow. So good news on Rand. If not tomorrow, I'm sure he'll be back early part of next week. So we'll play that beer over the next 24 hours. So good there. A few others, 2 or 3 others didn't train today, and we'll give them as long as possible as well.
I guess with Tafazzoli, is the reassurance as much as anything else the key thing, him now knowing that it's not maybe as serious as was first thought, and he can concentrate on his football rather than having it in the back of his mind? Definitely.
Rand's one of these lads who he has to be, fully 100% to play in it, and when he is, he's a top player for us. So it's good to have that cleared out of the back of his mind that he doesn't need any surgery or operation on it. It's he's had a little an injection that will probably takes 48 hours for it to settle down, but he was out in the pitch today, and like I say to you, we'll see how he is tomorrow, and fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah, I guess all of that said, I suppose it's not a tough decision for you to make really, because Baldwin and Bostwick have been playing well together, particularly at Gillingham. They were probably 2 men of the match, weren't they? And they kept a clean sheet for you, so your centre-back partnership is doing fine as it is.
Yeah, of course. I mean, listen, Rand's a big player for us though. Rand Tafazzoli's massive for us, and if he's available, he's always comes into my thinking in terms of the team selection. But yeah, I agree with you. Bostwick and Baldwin were top drawer at Gillingham. First half, like I say, it was cagey, it was bobbly, and there wasn't really 2 or 3 passes strung together, but they defended their box really, really well. And second half, they played on the front through. I just watched all the clips with Jack this morning, and probably the best I've seen him is pre his last operation, where he had probably played 2 or 3 games needing an operation, testament to him. So good to see him back to his form, and alongside Michael Bostwick, who's been ever consistent most of the season anyway.
With Jack, I mean, he's a good footballer, we know that, don't we? He can play the ball out of defence, but I guess at Gillingham he showed that commanding presence. He won a lot in the air, didn't he, and made it very, very difficult for the Gillingham front men to get round him and trouble him. Is that the part of his game that he just needed to add, you feel, that commanding presence, that ability to be rough and tough and head everything away when required?
Well, we know that he can play. We know that's the reason why when Jack's fit, 9 times out of 10 I'll be in my team, because the way I like my team to play, I want my centre halves to defend, yes, 100%, but I also need them to be able to handle the ball, and all 3 of them can do that. Jack, Bozzy and Taff. So I was pleased for him, because watching the clips back with him, he did win a lot on the air, especially when Jackson came on, the right back, and he started launching throws in the our box, and Jack was superb, clearing things and distances on his clearance as well, which are key. But not only that, in the second half, where he was stepping in front of Cody McDonald, who good player in this league, and Jack didn't give him a sniff most of the game. So I was pleased for him. It'll give him a lot of confidence now for the rest of the season for sure.
Tom Nichols took a nasty one, didn't he, in the hip in the first half? How's he?
Again, touch and go. He did a little bit this morning. So we'll just play him by ear again. We'll see how he is tomorrow, whether he can be back involved in the squad and be fit for the weekend. So touch and go, yeah, it was a nasty one into his hip, I think, his hip flexor, and he's just been struggling a little bit with it during the week, but it's getting better each day. So I'm hoping he'll be fine to join back in with us again tomorrow.
I suppose young Junior's had a spring in his step again, has he, this week in training?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, Junior's. He's been a breath of fresh air really since he come into the football club. I've said to you before, he constantly wants to learn. After every game he'd send me a text message and ask me what do you think I need to improve on, what do you think I need to do to be better. He wants to watch his clips all the time. He constantly wants to do finishing and shooting after training. He's a breath of fresh air. He wants to do so well for himself and for this football club, and those sort of people are hard to come by. I've no doubt that he'll be a massive hit with the football club, with the fans next season when he gets a full pre-season under his belt, because we've had to manage him carefully from training once, maybe twice a week at St Albans. They're coming into an everyday environment where the intensity is really high. You know, you're coming into working with myself and Ben McKenzie, who our sessions, you know, whether you're with me or Ben, they're proper intense. So it's we've managed him, and he's starting to reap the rewards of it. You know, he's starting to look sharper and fitter and stronger. So really pleased with him.
And alongside him, he's got a man with vast experience in Craig MackailSmith, but also a man who's shown what is possible coming from the non-league ranks, having a great career at this club and going on and furthering his career. I suppose that's a good role model to have alongside him, isn't it? Definitely. You know, he speaks to Craig all the time, as does Tom. You know, you always see them speaking on the training ground, off the pitch when they're eating their dinner or whatever. They're always speaking to each other. They want to learn. You know, Craig's been there and done it. He scored over 100 goals for this football club. He scored a lot of goals at Brighton as well. So to have him there, to just a shoulder to lean on at times when if you miss a chance or whatever like that, it's not to worry about it. You know, because you'll get another one. That's the message that myself would drum into the centre forwards, and Craig would probably say to them, because I'm sure Craig will hold his hands up and say he missed a fair few chances down the years, but he always got into positions to get chances, and that's why he got a lot of goals. A productive day for the reserve team against Bournemouth. I think Inman was on the score sheet. Taylor played as well.
Yeah, but the few of the boys went and played. Andrew Hughes played, Paul Taylor played, Brad Inman played, Callum Chell played. Brad, yeah, there was quite a few of them played in the game, and it was mainly just for them to get more minutes. It was I think you've seen most of the season when players haven't played in the first team, they always play in the 21s, the 23 games. So it's good for them to go and get some minutes in their legs. By all accounts, they done well, and it was never the result didn't the result flattered to deceive, really, I think. But more importantly for them to get some minutes in their legs, and because we're going to need them all now before the season runs out, for sure.
Charlton next up, then another meeting with your old pal Carl Robinson. I think it's your 5th meeting against him, isn't it, this campaign? Obviously found it tough since he's been there, but a team you feel that are probably better in terms of their quality and their league position suggests at the minute. Yeah,
definitely. It's been probably tricky for Carl going in there. You know, it's I remember speaking to him in the first game. It was, you know, he didn't know which sort of his best team and things like that, but listen, he's a good manager. I've said it before, he's someone who I look up to in terms of, you know, he started in management quite young. He done great with MK Dons, and you know, he was given a lot of time there to get them into the championship, and he done it. And I've got a lot of time for him. He's a nice man, good to speak to, and I'm sure he'll turn things around there at Charlton. I just hope it's after Saturday. But listen, we know they're good. We know they've got some really good individuals. They know. I watched their game against Sheffield United, and they took an early lead. They probably should have been 2 or 3-0 up. They hit the crossbar. They started really bright in the game, but we need to make sure we concentrate on ourselves. As I always say, we're at home. We want to finish strongly at home with these 3 league games coming up, and we want to accumulate as many points we can and see where we go. But you know, I was pleased with ourselves, really. Second half of Gillingham, I think we showed that, you know, our capability, especially on a tough pitch. I think we controlled the game second half and deserved to win it, probably by a bigger margin.
I remember the away day at Charlton really well. Just before Christmas, obviously you're up in the playoffs at that point, and it was a complete away performance. I think you had a real threat going forward, but were very solid at the back. Do you look back at that one and think that's probably, you know, the benchmark, particularly away from home, I guess?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I remember the goals, 2 good goals, good header from Taff from a set play, and you know, a wonder goal from Guillon to win the game really for us. But yeah, I mean, it was a perfect away performance. I thought we controlled the game. I thought we played with a lot of energy. I think that's coming back into a game over the last 3 or 4 games. You can see the lads have got their bit between their teeth again. I've always said to you, you know, I trust what I've got in the change. You know. Yes, we've been disappointing from January, but we're starting to turn it around now. And like I said to you last week, we want to try and make us like a little mini season for us. Those 7 games, we started it well. Now we need to make sure we respond again and you know, go on to back-to-back wins, and that's what we'll be doing. trying to do at the weekend, and I'm more than confident the boys can produce it.
And we've spoken so much this season about home form, haven't we? We spoke about it in the summer as well, building into the campaign. But the fact is that with the away form as it is, if you can crack the home form, tail end this season, but going into next season, you're going to have a great chance of achieving something big, aren't you? But it's that question: how do you do it? How do you get that consistency on your own patch?
It's difficult. Listen, we're one of the probably 70 clubs in the country are probably saying the same thing about their home form. So it's difficult. With just looking back in the season, we've probably dropped some points where we shouldn't have done in terms of the draws we picked up and the last minute goals and things like that. But we'll turn it around. There's no two ways about that. We'll make sure we get it right over the next 18 months or whatever, because it's massive. Your home form is huge for you. If you have a really good home form, i.e. Sheffield United, Bolton, Bradford, teams like that, they're all up there because of their home form. Scunthorpe, and it is huge. And when you go on your travels, whatever you get on your travels becomes a good result. So although we have been quite good away from home this season, something we need to definitely take into consideration for the rest of this season and next season is our home form and how we generate a better atmosphere in the ground, and whether that's what the players are producing on the pitch or whether the fans can help us in that, and we can all unite in that sort of department, that our home game becomes really, really tough for any team that comes there.
Do you think even like some sort of fan engagement, that sort of thing, to, as you say, bring it closer together? I think the chairman's been talking about the 12 campaign, bringing the supporters closer to the team. Is that something you feel could be productive in making the home environment a little more comfortable, if you like?
Definitely. I mean, I think. Listen, I think our players could probably do more in terms of around the ground at home games. I think we've tried to, get into where the lads who aren't involved in the squad are getting into the club shop. They're getting into boxes. They're selling programs. They're doing lots of stuff around the ground to try and to show that they're actually they're good lads as well as good football players, and they do care for the club. But I agree, definitely, if we can try and get a bit more engagement with the fans and bring them closer to us, and they'll probably listen. The fans have been great this season, but I'm just saying if we can get them even more, vocal, loud, atmosphere really good. But I know that becomes, what we do on the football pitch. But if the players are playing with confidence and the whole stadium's behind them, I think the results would be better. So there's something we need to look at in the summer, how we generate that atmosphere again, how we get more fans through the gate. But I know that deep down we need to win football games, and that's how you get more people through your gate.
Just finally, young Samuelsson, will we see him again this weekend? I think he was on international duty with Norway last time out.
Yeah, Martin came back in today. He was with Norway for the past 10 days. So he's back in the building. Obviously, it's good to have him back. He's a good player. So, but the team's done well at the weekend. So it's I'm happy with what I saw last week. There may be one or two who may not make it. So we'll have a look after that and see where we go for there.